Consider what the British psychiatrist R.D. Laing proposed about families. That a dysfunction within a family is best handled by creating a larger, more inclusive conception or definition of the family, rather than punishing or rejecting, which damages everyone to some extent. I love the little aphorism here. Experiencing resentment and anger toward others is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Our immune system are poisoned when we are consumed with resentment and anger. In the 1950s, Hans Selye wrote about this animal studies where stress damaged the same internal organs as actual poison injected. Amazing. These same organs were damaged in the same way from stress and from poison. They both killed the animals. He called it GAS, General Adaptation Syndrome. I read an anthropologist who asked a person in South Sea Island about their art. They said, we don't have art here. We just do everything as well as we can. I believe the art of living is the greatest aesthetic endeavor a person can pursue. If our activity of living life is not an art, then nothing is worth composing. One more comment about composing. I want to acknowledge an even broader base for human compositions, where some people wake up in the morning and find a completed work of art in their mind, composed while they slept, perchance to dream. The British magazine New Scientist, February 2007, says, ever wondered why sleeping on a problem works? It seems that as well as strengthening our memories, sleep also helps us extract themes and rules from the massive information we soak up during the day. Now let me try again. In the first instance, what it means to be human is to have the capacity to learn the local language and customs as they mutually reinforce each other as a package, to generate a view consistent with that package and an identity, a meaningful life. And within that frame, to compose endless variations while maintaining that identity at all costs. Logic, education notwithstanding. As I said earlier, any human baby can learn of any of the over 6,000 languages and adapt to that culture. This awesome capacity and flexibility remains a mystery to science, defying adequate explanation. Now I offer a deeper perspective within which we all perform at height our compositions. I believe the human species has evolved under strong selection pressure to excel at solving short-term problems. Think about food, reproduction, and predators. Since language has always been part of this, it would tend to serve and reinforce short-term thinking processes. So here we have both language and cultural practice emphasizing short-term adaptive thinking and methods. And we are entirely embedded and utterly dependent on very long-term ecological processes. We have a mismatch between the human short-term and ecological long-term adaptive processes. With 6 billion, heading for 12 billion people, and with heavy industry spread into most of the world, the scale of human activity can now be measured in tectonic terms, a formula for true apocalypse. So we, our ancestors, were all born into language communities that work beautifully for a technological civilization to arise. Like an undiagnosed disease, human technological social structure has evolved faster than our understanding of what it means to be human. The explosive rate of technical advance is so great, I believe nobody either knows enough nor has the resources or time generate a countervailing culture, large and powerful enough to make a difference. It's a question of the ecology of ideas, where the dominant incentive structure in business and the academy is biased against thinking that does not have short-term payoff. Of course, there are a few foundations and individuals that try, but the larger growth-oriented short-term ideology is too strong and progressive. I believe it's too late to avoid more catastrophes of increasing scale and pernicious subtlety and persistence. We of the first world can probably avoid the extreme social problems for some years, but our high-flying days of the world's most powerful country are over. I believe I have located language and systems theoretic models that in principle could mitigate and slowly reverse the planetary ecological trends that so threaten the biosphere. I doubt we have the time to find enough consensus on human meaning to make a difference. So enjoy your compositions and love each other. Instead of a summary, I prefer to try winterizing my comments. You know, against the cold, harsh, but probably valid critique. While I'm devoid of academic credentials, nevertheless, I do belong to the American Society for Cybernetics. I've slipped into countless gatherings of global scholars, and they ultimately fail just like me and some others. However, a single example. This year we had a conference on cybernetics in Chicago. And I watched an exchange between two of the top players. I metaphorically jumped on the back of a scholar in Copenhagen, and without asking, got the agreement from several top players that I was correct. Here's the essence. I told Dr. X that he does not get the central idea upon which we have a serious consensus. He believes he does, and has just published a new book with his confusion intact. My point here is simple. When the highest qualified players in a scientific society dedicated to understanding cannot understand each other, I'm claiming we are all on our own out here and only do our best to be kind to each other in a world of exploding complexity and uncertainty. That's why I'm a radical constructivist who talks in sometimes incomprehensible phrases. But I love you all and know you are doing your very best. Now, if I don't stumble, the Dylan Thomas poem. In my craft or sullen art, exercised in the still night, when only the moon rages and the lovers lie abed with all their griefs in their arms, I labor by singing light, not for ambition or bread, or the strut and trade of charms on the ivory faces, but for the common wages of their most secret heart. Not for the proud man apart from the raging moon I write on these spindrift pages, not for the towering dead with their nightingales and songs, but for the lovers, their arms round the griefs of the ages, who pay no praise or wages, nor heed my craft or art. Thank you.